I'm the Chief Technology Officer for TELUS in Canada. For those of you not aware, I live in a fantastic place called Edmonton. A bit nice, cool, and north, but really excited about being able to share what TELUS is doing on edge computing and 5G. In particular, the opportunity to actually see how what started in 2014 and just standards bodies is coming to fruition in a way that makes sense. So for us, at least at TELUS, we believe the 5G disruption is meant to provide people to transform much faster in a very simple way. As enterprises and as people go around their digital life and the digital journey they're conducting, cloud is a huge part of it. And where cloud and 5G meet is as you materialize your digital journey. So in simple terms, you can't have one without the other. It's a three-legged table. To be a bit North American, I know this video will be global. But at the end of the day, we believe that for 5G edge to work, it needs to be part of the cloud and digital journey that people are conducting to benefit from it. That being the case, you start wondering that it's not something that the telco can offer without partnering with the end user or users. And a lot of the work we're doing at TELUS fundamentally is, what is the piece that's changing how we do business today? I personally have been public, and I know very unpopular with some of my peers, saying if 5G is a better 4G, we have failed as an industry. The key is to insert 5G as a critical part of the transformation that an end user is doing. So whether they're rewriting their applications, visiting how they do actually cloud, and most importantly, their digital journey. So I've taken the liberty in sharing some of the examples that TELUS has been working since the 4G days. And it's amazing when you do 5G right on top of what we've done, it's wonderful. So I want to just a bit of a reminder, we shouldn't lose focus that it's about the ability to provide your own private network, and we're not talking about physical private, security, the ability to manage devices. But more importantly, if you take slicing out of the equation as what we're doing from a mobile edge point of view, the next big piece is delay. And the examples that would today substitute real cost, real expense, provide automation, improve safety in 4G is being able to bring down the delay and the latency for traditional wireless networks. So in a 4G world, if you place a core beside every base station, you're golden. But that is what 5G with mobile edge is meant to address. And that's a lot of what we're doing, right? So for us, it's massive broadband, low latency. It's being able to prioritize mission critical versus non-mission critical. And we've got some real life proof points as Canada, as most of you are aware, is auctioning as we speak the 3.5 gigahertz band. So we have 5Gs in other bands, but more importantly, we'll be rolling out our standalone cores and our mobile edge compute to enable all that functionality. But I have a few examples that go into details on why, if you can make it with 4G at a high cost, how much more beautiful using 5G right in terms of cost, the benefits that go back and forth between operator and customer, and ultimately it is a business to consumer or to X model, right? It benefits the whole ecosystem, right? So I've got three examples, and they're in three verticals that we're working very closely on. One is oil and gas, one's automotive, and one's agriculture, right? Like we have a lot of other things. Health is something really huge for TELUS. The ability to support digital health in Canada and around the world is one of the missions that we've taken on as an organization since 2006. But I want to briefly talk about these three verticals that have clear examples that all of us can resonate with. On the oil and gas side, we work with Suncor, leveraging a lot of what they're doing with autonomous vehicles. So Suncor is one of TELUS's clients, partners, that had the first autonomous, basically mining grade truck in the world in Alberta's North Stand. So working with them, we've actually created a mobile network. Basically, we've abstracted TELUS in a box to enable low latency for these autonomous vehicle to be real-time monitored with intervention. So one person can drive numerous vehicles. The issue is not saving the cost of the driver, but now you've taken something into 24/7 if it's autonomous with the right sensors. But more importantly, and I've visited our oil sands, you can easily hit minus 50 degrees Celsius in the winter. So believe me, you would like to be somewhere a bit far away in a heated environment. The next one is automotive, and then we're doing a lot of really cool work. And I applaud companies like General Motors who we're working with, not because they're working with TELUS, but for the longest time, the telcos were building their 4G and 5G, and the cars were building their self-driving cars. Bringing them together makes so much sense as low latency drops between a car and the network. And more importantly, eventually, as you have cars that can talk to other cars on the same base station. So you have to fast forward and be a bit visionary. But the short-term gains we have with General Motors is supporting in-vehicle applications, the vehicle-to-vehicle communications. And that is something that we've trialed by building basically a whole 5G network with all its pieces on a test track. What today we were doing with 4G and today's incarnation of 5G, think about it. It should drop into a tenth of the cost if we as an industry rally around right. The third is one of my favorite examples, and it's twofold, right? And I've shared with you the internal chart. I believe when you talk to a fellow CTO or somebody technical, I owe it to you to share what we're doing rather than throw some marketing. We're looking at two angles of smart farmings. And the one use case that we're looking at is protein harnessing applications. So we've got a whole number of trials in terms of tracking, IoT sensing, and then applying the right software as you have data at the edge at multiple points. So it lends itself nicely to mobile edge. The one that's not mentioned here, and we're looking at the ability to be able to pull it off, is think about today when a farmer drives around their farm. So in North America, we have farms that are pretty large, and they would take them 2 to 3 days to do visual inspection in their truck or in their car. Imagine flying a drone. Imagine running a robot that just goes around and looks at things. And these things generate, you're talking about 8 gigabits per second worth of video camera. There is no farm in the world, unless it's in downtown Toronto or Edmonton or Vancouver, that will be able to have bandwidth to the farm to take that data and process it. So it's very important to think of the notion of edge to curate and run that software and application. More importantly, to yield the right results, and then you can transmit the curated data. So these are 3 verticals we're heavily invested in. There are others, but more importantly, there are 3 verticals that don't address what I call marketecture. These are real-life applications that have real benefits, whether for better outcomes in agriculture, in driving, think of health and safety, and in creating headroom for what would be a 24/7 operation on the oil sands. So I think we're critical that when we talk about 5G, and more importantly, when we get so excited about the edge and throwing words around like mech and gaming, and believe me, I have a 10-year-old son. I collect Pokemon. I love the AR, VR feature. But nobody's going to spend billions of dollars building 5G networks so me and him can have a better experience playing games for now. These are real-life situations, use case scenarios that I believe other operators need to take the lead by assessing how 5G can make things better and bring down the joint total cost of ownership. I hope you guys found this little piece on Mobile Edge and TELUS's view a bit informative. But again, I want to reiterate, it's about collaborations. It's about moving from selling minutes and bytes to partnership with our end client and jointly with their end client. So thank you for the time and opportunity.